In this episode of Student of Life with Joe Hafner, we address the question, how do you win the morning? Joe will examine morning routines and why they are vital to your success. He will provide a starter kit for creating your own effective morning rituals and much more. For show notes, links, and other resources, please visit studentoflifepodcast.com/8. That's studentoflifepodcast.com/8.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Hafner here for the Student of Life podcast. I am so glad you could join me. Can you believe that we are at podcast number 8? I've been doing this for 2 months now. I'm really excited. I am so glad that you chose to spend some time with me. And today we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart because this is how you start your day with a win every day, and that's your morning ritual. Last week, of course, we talked about protecting your energy, protecting your confidence. This week, we're talking about specifically how do you start your day. When you start your day, are you preparing to go on offense or do you start your day playing defense? So let's just get right into things here. What is the purpose of having morning routines? I can tell you that a morning routine is hugely important because, number one, it protects your energy and your confidence. When you start the day with a routine that you know exactly what you're going to do, it's kind of like starting an engine. You get that thing rolling because you just go through the same process every day and you ease into your day and there's no decisions to make, there's no problems to solve. You just do the same thing on a regular basis to get the day going. Remember that the biggest drains of energy and confidence are problem solving and decision making. Morning rituals and routines take all of that out of the equation. Let's look at, one of my favorite quotes about morning routines is from Mark Twain. There's several various versions of this where he says, one way he says is, eat a live frog first thing in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. There's also another one, if your job is to eat a frog, best eat it first thing in the morning. And if your job is to eat 2 frogs, best eat the biggest one first. And the whole idea is you want to use the morning when you have the most energy and the most confidence to be able to get the big things done in your day. So if you look at some other people, back in Steve Jobs was giving a graduation address, and he said, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And now you can't go through every day saying, today I'm going to act like it's the last day. If you're Steve Jobs, maybe you can, if you're at the point where he was in his life, where he was a multimillionaire and could do what he wants. But are you doing the things each day that are in your purpose, that you're doing things that are the reason God created you? Are you doing things every day to move yourself closer to making your vision for your life and your business reality? I think that's kind of where that's going. And then, the other way to do things too is to put a positive spin on your day and start by, instead of saying, I have to do this today, I get to do this today. We're in one of the best times in the history of the world in terms of technology, in terms of just a great time to live, in terms of peace, in terms of the ability to succeed and opportunities to thrive. We get to do amazing things in America. We get to do things that lift people up. We get to do things that move us towards our vision, towards our purpose. And if you're starting your day with those sorts of things and thinking about those sorts of things, that's going to help you move things forward. Or another way to look at it, Dean Jackson, the marketing guru, he says, what would I like to do tomorrow? Being the idea behind that being, what do I have to get done today so I can do the things I want to do tomorrow, right? All kinds of people, every successful person that I know of has some sort of morning routine or morning ritual. If you look back, Margaret Thatcher, one of the greatest leaders in the history of the Western world, she used to get up every day at 5 a.m. so she could listen to Farming Today on the BBC. So that's how she started her day, was that ritual of listening to Farming Today. David Karp, who's the founder of Tumblr, he never looks at any of his emails until he arrives at work. So he starts the day on offense. When you start looking, if you get up and the first thing you do is grab your device and start looking at your texts and your emails and responding to what the world has thrown at you, you're immediately on defense at that point. You need to get your mind right, you need to get your body right, you need to get your spirit right before you start your day. Then there's Jim Quick, who is Quick Brain, right? He just did a great podcast that talks all about his morning ritual. His morning ritual is very involved. If you want to listen to that, just go check out his Quick Brain, which is episode 16, and we'll put a link to that in the show notes. But he goes into his nutrition, he goes into how he starts the day, he even talks about the type of shower he takes. So he gets very detailed into how he starts his day. And then there's Ben Franklin. Ben Franklin, one of the smartest people in the history of our country, a true entrepreneur, a true thinker, a true philosopher. He has a very famous outline of what his typical day looked like, that he followed the same schedule every day. So right now, if you Google Ben Franklin's schedule, you will see what he did every day. But we're going to focus on his morning schedule. He had a 3-hour morning ritual that he did every day. He always started his day with the question, what good shall I do this day? If you read from what he has on his morning routine, it says, rinse, wash, and address powerful goodness. So he's talking about what good shall he do today. That's what he's addressing. He's going to contrive the day's business and take the resolution of the day, prosecute the present study and breakfast. So every day he started with his 3 hours of figuring out what good he was going to do that day and preparing his day and planning and getting ready to go. And he was a pretty successful guy who accomplished a lot of great things. So having said all this, setting all this up, what are you doing every morning? Do you have a ritual that you follow? Do you have a routine that you follow? Do you have a certain time that you get up every day? What are you doing to give yourself a win first thing in the morning? What are you doing to set up your day where you're going to have great success? Let me tell you a little bit. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my morning routine and go through that and explain why I do what I do. And then I'm going to give you a plan for developing your own morning routine. I have different morning routines for different days of the week. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I get up and I go to the gym in the morning. So what happens is I've already remember last week we talked about flipping the switch, making blanket decisions that once you make the decision, you've made it once forever, and that decision is over and you're not thinking about it again. On Sunday night and Tuesday night and Thursday night, I've already made the blanket decision that I'm getting up to go to the gym the next morning, and my alarm clock goes off at 4:21. And it's significant that it's 4:21 and not 4:20 and not 4:25. It's 4:21 because I want to plant the seed in my brain that I am being very intentional about when I'm starting my day. I'm not just rolling out of bed when the Spirit moves me. I'm rolling out of bed at a specific time with a specific purpose. So my alarm goes off at 4:21. I don't sit in bed and think about whether or not I'm going to get up at 4:21. I've already made the decision long ago, 10, 15 years ago, I made the decision that I'm getting up at 4:21 on that day. If you make the decision whether or not you're going to get up early in the morning while you're laying there in bed, you're going to make the wrong decision every time, and you're going to decide to stay in bed and hit that snooze alarm or whatever you do to go back to sleep. So at 4:21, that alarm goes off and I get up. As my feet hit the ground, it's dark in the room because my wife is still sleeping, so I'm trying to hit that alarm really quick so there's less chance of her waking up. And as soon as my feet hit the ground, in my head, I'm saying a little prayer, God, let me be awesome today. Every day when I get up, that's what I'm saying as I'm kind of shuffling into the bathroom. God, please let me be awesome today. Let me do things that'll make me awesome today. And I do it without even thinking about it anymore because it is so programmed into me. So I go into the bathroom, I turn on one light that doesn't make the bathroom as bright as it can be, not the brightest light. And then I get my stuff on to go to the gym, my clothes. And the night before, I've already laid out my gym bag, my clothes for the day at work, all of those things. I've got my pre-workout shake basically ready to go, sitting in the kitchen. I've got my protein shake I'm going to drink after the gym, sitting in the fridge, and that pre-workout shake reminds me to grab the protein shake on the way out of the fridge. So I go into the into the kitchen. I have a big glass of water because it's important to rehydrate yourself after you've been sleeping all night and your body hasn't been hydrated. So I have a big glass of water to get started. I get my stuff together. I put the protein shake and the pre-workout shake in my gym bag, and I go take that stuff to my car. I get in my car and I pull out of the garage and I turn on the lower back heater in my seat on my car because I want to start getting my back loosened up for my workout. I make a point of when I go to bed, I've had my phone charges in my bathroom, and I have the sound turned off and I have the phone turned upside down so that when I get up, I am not looking at that phone and playing defense right away. This is a relatively new development in my morning ritual, where maybe 6 months ago I made the decision that I was not going to look at that phone anymore until I'm fully awake and until I've done a few things to get on offense, so I'm not immediately responding to whatever showed up overnight on my phone, in my email or on my text or whatever. So the phone goes right in my pocket so I can't even see what's on it. And I'm in the car, I put on the heat in the lower back seat. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is because that starts loosening my back up for when I get to the gym for my workout. I turn on an app on my phone that does a reading from the Bible, and my church has a daily reading from the Bible where we read the whole Bible in a year every year. So I listen to what the Bible reading is for the day on my way into town, and that gives my brain a chance to start easing into the day. And I'm a big believer in the spiritual aspect of things, that if I spend time with God to start my day, that I'm going to have a better day, that He's going to share something with me that's interesting or something that's going to make me a better person or help me to do better that day. So I really try to focus on what the reading is as I'm listening to that on the way into the gym. Then when I get to the gym, take my stuff into the gym, put it in the locker, get myself ready, get my pre-workout shake, and go walk on the treadmill for about 30 minutes before the main workout. And the reason I'm walking on the treadmill is because I've discovered as I've gotten older, it takes longer for my body to warm up. It takes longer for me to get myself going in the morning. And being able to walk on that treadmill gets all my muscles loose and gets my body ready for a pretty intense workout that's coming. But the other thing it does, it helps me to work through in my mind for that half hour anything I've been thinking about overnight. It's true what they say. You've heard the term, I'll need to sleep on that. I'm a big believer, as you know, about giving your brain free space to breathe, giving it a chance to work on problems, giving it a chance to think about things without a lot of clutter, because that's going to help you be more effective in what you're doing, in your life, what you're doing in your business. When I go to bed, sometimes there's an issue that I've been thinking about the night before and I've slept on it, and my brain has done whatever it's done at night while I'm sleeping to work on that problem, and I'm able to, in the morning while I'm walking on the treadmill, think about what it was and start formulating what's good that day's going to look like, start formulating what problems I need to solve that day, and just kind of thinking about things. Sometimes I'm thinking about creative things. I've written a novel. Sometimes I'll be thinking about my novel and how I'm going to promote it. Sometimes I'll be thinking about if I'm going to be doing a presentation for my team, I'll be thinking about how everything I'm working on goes together. So it's just kind of free time for my brain to wander. And if I don't have anything going that morning, don't have any big thoughts I'm thinking about, I'll turn on a podcast while I'm walking on the treadmill and listen to what other people have to say and try and pour some wisdom into my brain. So I walk on that treadmill, drink my pre-workout drink, get myself ready. When that time is up, I have a group of people that I meet with on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to do a boot camp style workout. Now, there's a few reasons for this. Number one, there's great accountability. When other people are there, you are much more likely to show up than if you're going there by yourself. That's number one. Number two, I don't want to make big decisions in the morning. And one of those decisions for a lot of people is, what workout am I going to do? Well, I've got a trainer who does the workout for the boot camp. I just show up and do what he says to do. And that's a good thing because I'm still easing into my morning and I don't want a lot of big decisions. I don't want a lot of problem solving. I want to be able to just get my brain going, get my body going, and get moving and get the blood flowing. So we'll do the workout. The workout consists of a combination of strength training and cardio, and you're keeping your heart rate up for a full hour. And so I do the workout. Then when the workout's over, I have my protein shake. I go and take a shower, get dressed, and then the next thing I do before my day starts, by this time it's about 7:30. I've gotten out of bed at 4:21. Now it's about 7:30. I'm fully awake. I'm full of energy. I've done that hard workout, so I have a big win to start my day. I feel good about myself. And when you do things to feel good about yourself and get a win, you're going to have a lot more energy. You're going to build. Remember what we said about energy and confidence, that they're like a battery, that you only get a certain amount for the day. And when you're doing things in your purpose, or you're doing things where you win, that it's going to increase them. Well, I've created the start of my day so that it's going to increase my energy and my confidence before I even get started on work for the day. So I'm feeling good about myself because I've done a hard workout, I've accomplished some things, and I'm all dressed, ready to go, and I get in the car, and now there's a coffee shop I go to where I do my morning planning. So when I sit down at the coffee shop, typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 5-10 minutes reading a scripture, reading a devotional, doing something where I'm reading something that's spiritual, and then just kind of sitting and contemplating on that. I have like a journal that I write my thoughts in. So if something comes to mind from that, I'll write some thoughts down on the journal. So the next thing I do after that is, if I have a problem I have to solve, if I have an issue I need to deal with, if I have a presentation I have to prepare for, I'll put my journal out and I will just kind of sit quietly and take notes on whatever it is that I'm trying to work on or solve or whatever, just to kind of get a flow going, get my mind working. And then the final thing that I do before I head into work for the day is I go ahead and I have a separate notebook where I keep my list of tasks that need to be done. I make my task list for the day. I figure out what I call my big three. And my big three is, I want to do something important that day that is going to be in my business. So some task that needs to be done. I want to accomplish something important that day where I'm working on my business, where I'm doing something to move a project forward or a big rock forward, or something that's moving me closer to my vision. And then I want to do something in personal development. So I want to do something that is growing me as a person, something that is that's going to help me with make my family better, something that's going to help me build wealth for my family. I want to do, when I'm done with my task list, I have my big three, so that when I get to the end of the day, no matter what happens that day, no matter what fires happen, no matter what blows up, I'm getting those big three items done, so I can at least have accomplished something when the day is over. Now, I'm not slaying dragons or conquering the world with these. These are key things that move me forward in those three areas, but they're things that I commit at that moment to getting done before the day is over. So when I'm done with all of that, now I'm ready to get started on the day. So when I walk in the door at my office, I drive from that coffee shop and go to the office, and I get ready to start the day. So when I walk in that door, whatever hits me, I know I've got a plan for what I'm going to do. And if something comes up that pushes me off my plan, I know that I'm going to do those big three no matter what happens the rest of the day. If my whole day blows up and is on fire, I'm going to find time to do those big three. That is a way that my day gets started on offense. That's a way that I'm not immediately responding to other people and to other stimulus. I am setting the agenda, I'm setting the tone for the day, and I'm moving forward to get that day rolling on the right foot. It's during that time when I'm doing my list, that's the first time during the day that I really start looking at my email or my text or what's going on with my phone, because I don't want to have that stuff cluttering my mind until I'm ready to attack what's going on during the day. It's real simple to put a morning ritual together. It's just a matter of having some things that you want to put into place. So I've created kind of a plan for someone to, like a starter kit, a morning ritual starter kit. And the idea is, I call it my 3-cubed morning ritual work plan. The first thing that you want to do is what I call feed 3. So there's 3 areas you want to feed when you're setting up your morning ritual. The first thing is you want to feed your spirit. So that would be spending time with God. That would be, if there's some people who are into meditation, that would be having quiet time where you are in nature. That's the spiritual aspect, feeding your spirit. The second thing is you want to feed your mind. So feeding your mind is you want to spend some time studying or getting some education or gaining some knowledge or listening to a podcast, quiet time to give your brain time to breathe and put things in place. And then the third thing you want to feed is your body. And that doesn't just mean feeding yourself food. That means taking care of your body by working out, by getting some motion going. You don't have to go do a hard workout, but you need to take a walk. You need to do some squats. You need to do something to get the blood flowing, get your body moving, because when your body is moving, your brain works better. And getting the blood flowing, getting your body moving is going to help you start the day with more vigor and with a better attitude. So the first thing is feed 3. The second thing is what I call protect 3. So the 3 things you want to protect your energy. So remember, energy, the way we refer to that is your physical energy. So you want to make sure you've gotten enough sleep. You want to make sure you're starting the day with momentum and on offense. So you want to protect your energy by not looking at those emails or those texts that you got the night before or overnight. You don't want to look at any of that stuff because that's going to attack your energy and attack your offense. You want to be on offense, not on defense. The second thing, you want to protect your willpower. So willpower is kind of like your endurance, your ability to maintain, your ability to stay strong when forces are pushing against you to stop what you know you need to do. One of those things is when you're doing your planning, putting your task list together in the day, you want to make sure that you figure out what's the most energy draining thing in the list and make sure you tackle that first when you get to the office. Like we started the podcast talking about Mark Twain eating that frog first thing in the morning. So you've got lots of energy so you can eat it and move on and overcome it and protect your willpower. And again, you protect your willpower by making the blanket decisions we talked about. Don't decide at 4 a.m. that you're going to work out or not work out. Decide a month before that every time you're going to work out. And then the third thing you want to protect is your confidence. And if you remember last week in our podcast, we talked about confidence as your emotional and mental reserves and resolve. And the idea is you want to plan focus time in your day. Remember, when you spend time working in your purpose, that actually helps you increase your energy and increase your confidence and increase your willpower. So having a block of focus time planned into your day where you're working in your purpose, that's going to help you gain energy and finish the day stronger. One of my favorite days of the week is Wednesday. And here's why. I believe that part of my purpose is to lead and to teach. There's 2 others in there, problem solving and writing, but leading and teaching are something I'm passionate about, that I believe I'm good at, that God's given me skills there. And on Wednesday, I do my normal workout, and then when I go to that coffee shop to do my morning planning, I'm either preparing or putting the finishing touches on what I'm going to teach our team at our Wednesday meeting. So I get energized by being able to work on that and give them a message of something that they can use that's going to help them get better. And so that fires me up. And then when I go from the coffee shop straight to the meeting and do the teaching, that helps me to feel like I'm working in my purpose. So you want to put that focus time of working in your purpose in your schedule, and that's going to help protect your confidence. So you've got feed 3, protect 3, and the third thing is you want to work 3. And this is the big 3 I talked about. You want to work on your business. So that means you want to look at your vision and what projects need to go into place to bring your vision forward, and make sure you're putting tasks in there to do that move that vision forward, and do something in that day to move closer to your vision. Then there's working in your business. If you've got things you need to do, make sure you're doing something to move forward what's happening in your business on a daily basis, the daily tasks that you need to do. And then the third thing is you want to work on your personal development. Does that mean that you're going to listen to a podcast that day? You might do some reading to help feed yourself. You might go to a webinar. You might get some extra training somewhere else. You might spend some time studying how you're going to build wealth, but do something during that day that's going to build you up personally and help you become stronger, better, whatever that looks like in your life to build yourself personally. So it's feed 3, protect 3, and work 3. And that's a great framework from which to build a morning ritual and just make it a starting point. There's as many different morning rituals as there are different people. You need to study yourself and figure out what works for you. Test things, try things, see what works. And when you get on a schedule and a routine where every day you go through it, it's giving you energy and it's getting you fired up for the day, then you know you're onto something. And when you continue to do that, it becomes like muscle memory. Just like when my feet hit the floor and I'm asking God to help me be awesome today, that now is just muscle memory. I don't even know if I'm thinking that when I'm saying it. I just say it every time. You want that muscle memory where you're protecting your confidence, you're protecting your energy because you're doing things that are just a routine that help give you momentum to start your day. That is the end of the podcast for today. I hope you will figure out how to start a morning ritual for yourself, because I believe the first step to success is learning how to win the morning. If you win the morning, that gives you a great chance of winning the day. And when you win enough days in a row, then you have success and you have fulfillment. I look forward to getting together with you again next time. Again, thank you to everybody who's been supporting me and encouraging me. And please, if you haven't already, go hit the subscribe button on iTunes or Stitcher. If you've enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends about it. Show them how to download a podcast. Show them how to listen to stuff like this. I know you have lots of choices on the podcast spectrum, and I appreciate that you chose mine. So have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Please subscribe to Student of Life at iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you go to for your favorite podcasts. Visit us online at studentoflifepodcast.com. That's studentoflifepodcast.com. We are on Facebook at Student of Life. Email us at joe@studentoflifepodcast.com. If you enjoyed the show, help us spread the word by telling someone you know about Student of Life. And please join us again next time. Thanks!